Close enough. I call this speech, I'm going to make you regret saying we could speak about anything we wanted. There are some movies that can shape an actor or actress's career. Others can shape an entire genre, and still others have the power to impact a whole generation heavily. The Buddies movies were none of these, but many of us can look back on them as pieces of our childhood, even me. Heck, I'm typically not one who supports dog movies in the first place, but for the Buddies, I'm willing to bend my values a bit. However, in all honesty, I've always had a problem with these movies. And no, it's not just that they're dog movies, it's something deeper within the movies themselves. Disney's release order timeline doesn't make any sense. And so, today, I will form the new Buddies timeline. Let's do it. This is either going to go really well or really bad. I want you all to know that. Now, in order for me to put these movies in a new, better order, I'd have to watch all of them. But you may ask, Noah, who would have time to watch all 12 Buddies movies in the span of 3 days? Only a fool could do that. And I say to you, oh, you sweet ducklings. You sweet ducklings bathed in the innocence of ignorance. It is not the task that is too great, but my hubris is even greater. And I am no fool. I watched all 12 Buddy movies over the last 3 days and began to shape the new form of their synoptic gospel. At first it was pretty straightforward and easy, the first 5 being Air Bud and sequels. I debated including these at first since they're not technically Buddies movies because there's only one Bud, it's just the dad dog. But in the end I decided I kind of had to because not doing it would be like eating a Reese's peanut butter cup without taking off the little paper part. It's annoying and a bit of a chore, but altogether not too hard. And after all, they're part of the canonical timeline, so I have to. Next is Air Buddies. And this is where we get into the juicy stuff. These are the real Buddies movies. And the next movie in release order after Air Buddies is Snow Buddies. But it's not next in my new timeline. You see, Snow Buddies leaves the Buddies, it starts with the Buddies in the Arctic, with no explanation as to how they got there. Why are they lost? Well, that's right, it's Santa Buddies. They go in Santa Buddies, they visit Santa, and at the end of the movie, they're still up there. How do they get back? Snow Buddies. Makes perfect sense, right? After Santa Buddies is released, Space Buddies is. I'm gonna put this one off to the side for a minute, but I'll get back to it, don't worry. I'll get back to it.
These are real movies?
These are real movies. After Space Buddies was released, Spooky Buddies was. There's nothing exactly in the dialogue of this movie to indicate that it comes before the events of Santa and Snow Buddies, but assuming they're not 1-year-old dogs, which they aren't, it would have to come before these other two because Halloween is before Christmas. It just makes sense. Treasure Buddies was released after Spooky Buddies, and this is where things get complicated. It actually occurs at the same time as Space Buddies. Guys, this right here, this is the ship. And of course by ship, I mean sustained having in timelines. The owners are different from each other in each of these 2 timelines and from the owners in Snow Buddies, indicating that we're now left with a split in timelines and 2 separate ones. But there's still one more movie, Super Buddies. In the movie Super Buddies, Butterball, B-Dog, Rosebud, Buddha, and Mudbud come across 5 rings that give them superpowers. And the villain. Where do the rings and villain come from? Space. And no, that's not just my fan theory. This is canonical. This is within these biblical texts themselves. But in watching this last one, I came across something I didn't intend to encounter. Mudbud, one of the buddies, comments on their trip to Egypt. But in this timeline, they didn't go to Egypt. That was in the other timeline. Understandably enough, when he says this, the others brush it off. They have no idea what he's talking about because it didn't occur in this timeline. Is Mudbud just dumb? Is this a coincidence? Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Something far more sinister is at hand here, friends. Mudbud can see into other timelines, and ergo, Mudbud was not one of the ones split by the timelines, he split the timelines. But there's one more thing I haven't told you yet. Mudbud is also the one who ultimately lands the finishing blow on the villain in Super Buddies and is glorified as the hero. So, Mudbud not only split the timelines for his own personal gain, but can see what into might have been in the others. And, as explained by a minor character in the CW's The Flash TV show, being able to control timelines essentially means you control everything. Mudbud has made himself not only the hero, but the deity of this timeline, and demands to be worshipped as such.